Last fall I gathered up a bunch of the leaves from my property and I put them in my home garden that's, well, right in my backyard. Put them down about 1.5 to 2 feet thick, but after I put those down, I put some wood chips on top of them. Now I was testing something out with the wood chips on top of the leaves. I've done leaves in the past, like just 1.5 to 2 feet deep with nothing else, and they broke down fairly quickly. It took about a year. So I wanted to see if I could speed that up a little bit faster. And my idea behind it was, since wood chips do an excellent job at holding in moisture, the layer of leaves underneath the wood chips would stay moist throughout the entire 1.5 to 2 feet of leaves. The previous year when I had just done leaves, the top 2 or 3 inches would dry out a good amount, and obviously it's going to take a lot longer for dry leaves to decompose than wet leaves. Come July of 2023, all the leaves that were underneath those wood chips, they were completely broken down. Like, they had turned into some excellent soil. So it took about a year with just the leaves. It took about 8.5 months with the leaves and then the wood chips. My goal is always to figure out how to create soil as fast as possible. Now, to get things to compost efficiently and effectively, we need moisture, we need heat, and we need oxygen. Those are essential. Now, we have the moisture because, again, the wood chips on top are going to trap all that moisture into all the leaves, so we're covered there. We're also going to be covered in the oxygen standpoint because, well, the wood chips and the leaves, there's a fairly good amount of airspace in there for oxygen to be able to move through, so we should be good there too. Since we're cold composting, we're obviously going to be lacking the heat element. And when it comes to hot composting, what gets that pile nice and hot is the nitrogen in there. You know, it has to be stacked up to a certain height and width, but the nitrogen is a key component. If your compost piles aren't getting hot, there's a good chance you don't have enough nitrogen. Since nitrogen is a key factor, we are going to add a nitrogen element. So that leads me to the first method that I'm going to be testing out, and that is using some partially composted cow manure. What I did with this method was, just like before, I put down about 1.5 to 2 foot thick of leaves. Hello, cat. I feel like no-till growers or his cat always come up to him. Oh. Anyway, so what I'll be doing is, again, putting down that 1.5 to 2 feet thick of leaves, just like I did before. But on top of that, I'm taking some partially composted cow manure and laying that on probably about 2 to 3 inches thick on top of those leaves. And then after I put those down, I'm going to put some wood chips on top of that. So it'll be 1.5 to 2 feet of leaves, 2 to 3 inches of partially composted cow manure, and then 4 to 5 inches of wood chips. And my reasoning and my theory behind this is that as the partially composted cow manure is sitting on top of those leaves, once the rain and the snow throughout the fall, the winter, and the spring, as that's falling on it, right, it's going to travel down through it, through the leaves and into the soil. And what it's essentially going to do, again, in theory, is create a compost tea, essentially. So that tea is going to be rich in nitrogen and, you know, other soil microbes and all this other stuff. It's going to be able to trickle on down throughout all those layers of leaves. And as that nitrogen and soil microbiology is filtering down throughout all the layers of those leaves, it's going to speed up the decomposition process even faster. It should, in theory. I don't really see it not working well. Again, I'm just trying to see which one works the best. So the next one that I did, and this one I believe is going to work the best, and I'll explain why in a second. But with this one, what I did first was I put down about 3 to 4 inches of the cow manure, and then on top of that I put the 1.5 to 2 feet of leaves, and then on top of the leaves I put the wood chips. My reasoning behind doing it this way was because, well, I mean, if you look in nature, that's how nature does it, right? You have the soil, and then you have the topsoil, and then you have the decomposed, the leaf litter and other organic material, and then you have the more whole organic material on top of all that. And since you can't really improve on creation, you can't improve on the way God designed things, I believe that this method is going to work the best. The other reason that I like this method too is because with that partially composted cow manure underneath all those layers, regardless of what happens, if the leaves break down really faster or not, whatever it is, I'll still be able to move those wood chips and move the leaves aside and plant right into the composted cow manure underneath, push it back around, and then I can get to grow. So there's wood chips on both of them, there's leaves on both of them. All I did was flip the order of the leaves and the manure. Now I'll be running all three of these in the same plot, so next year throughout the season we'll be able to compare them real time. I'll do a test at the beginning of the growing season, middle of the growing season, and then into the growing season, and we'll compare and see which method did the best. So we'll tune back in next year and kind of see how this thing turns out. I gotta do a little bit of experimentation, a little bit of science. I don't really think it will be gardening if you're not trying something new or trying different things every year. So I'm excited to see how this turns out, like for real. I've been thinking about doing it for a while. What? Regardless of how they turn out, I know all of them are going to work, right? All organic material turns back into soil, so it's all going to turn back into soil at some point. I highly recommend that you use some leaves for your organic material if you're doing some type of mulching or cold composting or whatever. It's what creation uses after all, and that's where you find the healthiest soil in nature as well. If you don't have access to, you know, your own leaves, you can go take other people's as well. I mean, that's where I get a lot of my leaves from too. I don't need to go get anyone else's, but I do it for two reasons. One, to show you guys that you don't need your own supply of leaves. I mean, there are millions of homeowners every year don't know and understand the benefit of leaves, so they just put them on the side of the road and dump them every year. So I drive around and I take theirs too. As much of the stuff as I can get, I'm going to take and use, because it's essentially gold. Like, this stuff is literally like gold. Like, it can create incredible soil, and people just giving it out there for free. So if I see gold on the side of the road, I'm going to go pick it up. Point blank, period. The other reason that I do it is because well, I guess I already told you, it's like gold. Other people like throwing gold on the side of the road. I'm gonna pick up the gold. So yeah, I already told you the second reason. Cameron died and now it's snowing. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank y'all for tuning into this video. I can't wait until next year so we can look and see the results of these testing experiments that I'm trying out here. So when this snow get going, we'll see what everything looking like. But until next time, till the next video, I'll catch y'all then. Peace.